Good morning. Thank you all for coming. My name is Justin Pearson, and I'm the Executive Director of the Institute for Justice Florida chapter. IJ is the nation's premier libertarian public interest law firm, and we litigate in four main areas. Those are property rights, school choice, free speech, and economic liberty. We are here today to announce our latest property rights case, and I am joined by our lead attorney on the case, Ari Bargle, as well as the plaintiffs. Ari and the property owners will all be speaking today, and so at this point I'm going to turn it over to IG attorney Ari Bargle, who will tell you more about the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Good morning, and thank you all for coming. My name is Ari Bargle. I'm an attorney with the Institute for Justice and the lead attorney on this case. We're here this morning in the front yard of Herman Ricketts and Tom Carroll, a front yard that was once beautiful and vibrant with vegetables that Herman and Tom grew for themselves, for their own personal consumption. But those vegetables are gone now because it is illegal in the city of Miami Shores to maintain a vegetable garden in your front yard. In fact, the city of Miami Shores told Herman and Tom that they had to destroy their vegetable garden or face fines of $50 per day, which works out to about $1,500 per month for non-compliance, just for growing vegetables. A ban like this makes it illegal in Miami Shores for citizens to put their own property to a peaceful and productive use to do something as simple as grow food for themselves and their families. You can grow fruit, flowers, or plant pink flamingos, but you cannot grow vegetables. That's why a ban on front yard vegetable gardens makes no sense. A property does not become an eyesore or magically turn into a blighted spot simply because there are vegetables growing in a front yard. Thankfully, the Florida Constitution provides protections for Herman and Tom and folks like them who want nothing more than to put their property to a peaceful and productive use to grow vegetables for themselves and their families. But this is not just about Herman and Tom's garden anymore. This is about the right of all Americans who want to use their property productively in order to support themselves and their families. Indeed, Herman and Tom are now a part of a national movement of small-scale producers and consumers who are tired of the government dictating to them what they can grow, raise, and even eat. Today, that national movement gains a new ally with the Institute for Justice. Along with this case, the Institute for Justice is today filing two other cases in other parts of the United States as part of our National Food Freedom Initiative, which is designed to protect and vindicate the rights of all Americans to produce, procure, and consume the foods of their choice. In Minnesota, a challenge to that state's severe restrictions on two cottage foods producers, and in Oregon, a challenge to the state's outright prohibition on the advertising of raw milk. And of course, the reason why we're assembled here this morning, Miami Shores' irrational prohibition on front yard vegetable gardens. And with that, I'll turn it over to Herman Ricketts. She is the lead plaintiff in this case, and along with her husband Tom, the owner of the property behind us. Thank you.
Hold on 1 second. Come on, step up. Don't be screwed. Are we good here? Deb? You sure? All right. Hold on 1 second. How are you?
Good morning. My name is Herman Ricketts, and this is my husband, Tom Carroll. We have lived here in Miami Shores for over 20 years, and I've been gardening for at least 17 of these years. I've received many compliments on the beauty of the garden. I have made a lot of friends by people who stop by to speak about gardening. My activities in my garden have been quiet and peaceful. Earlier this year, the village of Miami Shores decided to cite us for growing vegetables in our front yard and threatened us with fines for over $50 a day for growing vegetables. They then instructed us to remove specific plants from the garden. We are here today to tell you why we felt that it was important to not roll over, to file this lawsuit and to challenge this law. It is a law that we know prevents us from growing our own healthy organic food and vegetables on our property. And it's a law that ultimately affects everyone. A few years ago, when the state of Florida removed 3 productive citrus trees from our properties, we did nothing. And that inaction is costing us hundreds of dollars each year to replace citrus produce in our diets. Now the village of Miami Shores is telling us that we cannot grow organic, wholesome vegetables in our front yard. And inaction is no longer an option. We are already feeling the impact of shopping for overpriced organic food at our local supermarkets. When our garden is in full production, about 80% of our meals came from our garden, fresh, directly from our front garden. The village of Miami Shores claims that it wants to be green and bring in speakers for their Green Day to speak of eating locally. Well, I say there's nothing more local than eating directly from your front yard. The only way you can ensure that you're getting pesticide-free, GMO-free, organic food is to grow your own food. And if that location on your property, the optimal location, happens to be your front yard, that is where they should be grown. Healthy fruits and vegetables is the first line of defense for wellness and to prevent sickness. We want the government to stop this intrusive behavior in trying to dictate our food choices, where we can eat, what we can eat. I would also like to point out that the law doesn't take into consideration where on your property is the optimum location to grow the plant. In our backyard, which is on the north side of our property, it's mostly shaded during this period, which is a prime growing period in South Florida. You cannot force a plant that requires 6 hours of sunlight to thrive on only 2 hours of sunlight. Our front yard, which is on the south side of the property, gets the optimum amount of sunlight so we can grow vegetables. We have tried unsuccessfully over the years to grow a variety of vegetables in the backyard with no success. Once we brought the same vegetables to the front yard where they received the adequate amount of sunlight, we had a bountiful crop, enough to share with friends and family. You know, we need to have the freedom to plant our food in our property. We're harming no one. And I would just like to close in saying, you know, my pink flamingo that I've planted there is my own personal protest against a law where it is okay to plant a plastic flamingo shipped from the other side of the world, and it is illegal to plant organic vegetable in your front yard. Thank you.